All right, folks, so we got an update here. Just a couple hours ago, President Trump announced that he will not be attending the G-20 Summit in South Africa when South Africa hands over presidency of the G-20 to the United States in November. Now, that's unfortunate, and it's not a surprise. The indications were that Trump wouldn't go, although in the Oval Office meeting in May, he gave the impression that he was open to still going and that nothing had been decided. But since then, what's happened? Well, Ramaphosa went back to South Africa, and he insulted Trump over and over again, particularly when he went to the conference and spoke, and he said, when they dim the lights, he goes, oh, I thought they were pulling a Trump on me here, dimming the lights, Natalie. Yeah, that didn't go over very well. Also, when he spoke to the press and said that when Julius Malema sings Kill the Boer, that's free speech. Now, that may well be the case because the recent Constitutional Court determined that wasn't a hate crime, even though in 2003, the Supreme Court, the highest court, the Constitutional Court of South Africa, declared that to be hate speech and a criminal act. Now they allow it. He said that he didn't believe in that. He disavowed that. But he goes back to South Africa and he says it's free speech. So that flies in the face. Then we see constant reports from Ronnie Lamola, the foreign minister, from Parks Tau, the trade minister, and from the government of South Africa, constantly claiming that they're negotiating with the Trump administration to lower the tariffs, the reciprocal tariffs. But nothing could be further from the truth. We know for a fact that there's been no ambassador here since Ibrahim Rasool was sent home packing after his racist diatribe against Americans and against Trump, calling Trump the leader of a global white supremacist movement. As a serving accredited ambassador, that's not a wise move in any country to insult your host in that fashion, even if it's true. In this case, it's not. But if it's true, you just don't do that. Having served in 8 embassies in Africa and worked in about 40 embassies around Europe and Middle East and Africa, I can tell you that that's just not how you do things, folks. That's not how you do things. A sitting credentialed ambassador. Anyway, Rasool's been gone. He hasn't been replaced. There's been no effort or no such effort to move forward. In fact, this week, the ANC appointed an ambassador to the Seychelles, the Seychelles Islands. Well, that's real important for South African foreign policy. Not. Lovely place, great place you want to go on vacation, white sands and beach, and the Seychelles are wonderful people, but not exactly an important country when it comes to trade. So instead of working with the U.S., they're appointing ambassadors to the Seychelles, yet another insult. They didn't send any senior people to the U.S.-Africa Business Summit in Luanda, in which 16 African heads of state went there to work out trade deals with the Trump administration, but not South Africa. They sit back and tell the press every day that they're negotiating. Who with whom? Themselves? In a closet? I mean, what world are these people living in? No ambassador, no special envoy. Jonas Mkhizi is not, and Mkhizi Jonas is not an envoy. No trade representative, no trade delegation, and no one in Washington. Yet they claim that they're negotiating. Talk about gaslighting the people of South Africa. Shame. And do you know who suffers the most? Black South Africans. Because when the job losses come, they're the ones going to get fired from the car factories. They're the ones that pick the grapes and make the wine. They're the ones that make the country move. They're going to suffer.